Welcome to Jim Bob's Garden.
Well, welcome to Jim Bob's Garden. I know I've done a bunch of videos and never really talked about, other than a little snippet here and there, what exactly we're wanting to do. Hang on one second. Bree, take a picture of that. Take a picture of that. That grasshopper. Look at the size of that grasshopper. Holy hell. Alright. Just to give you perspective, there's my hand as compared to that grasshopper. That's a big old honking grasshopper. And he ain't scared either. Look at him. He's like, you know what? I'll take you on. That's a big old honking grasshopper. Alright. Come on back and let's talk. Alright, which is kind of neat because what I wanted to do on this video is I kind of wanted to explain who I am and what we're doing here. Alright, first off, if you're watching my videos and you're expecting an expert, you're probably watching the wrong place. I've grown gardens on and off for, since I was a kid, like 8, 9 years old. Back in the 60s and 70s. That's how old I am. But I've never really gotten into the study of it. I'm not a botanist. I have no formal schooling in this. What I have done is I've learned a lot from YouTube, and I've done a lot of reading. Matter of fact, let me tell you about this book. This is a book, Create Your Own Florida Food Forest by David the Good. Highly recommended. It's very, very basic. Doesn't get into a lot of technical jargon, and it tells you the basics of how to go about creating a food forest. Highly recommend David the Good, which we'll put a link on to his site on the iCard to tell you about it. But he goes through and he actually gives you which plants will grow, which ones won't, which ones are easy to grow, which ones are difficult. And then gives you the basic idea of how to go about doing this. I grew up in Kansas. I grew up in a lot of different homes. Now the reason I tell you that is not because I want you to feel sorry for me, though. If you do feel sorry for me, please feel free to send money. Somewhere. Send me a comment on this video and I'll tell you how to get me the money. Just kidding, by the way. But the thing is that I grew up in a lot of different families, and each one back home in Kansas grew a garden. Some of them had massive gardens. I mean, they had gardens as big as my whole plot of land, basically. And we grew everything we needed, and they canned everything. And basically, we didn't go to the grocery store except to get flour and basic staples and goodies. But most everything came out of the garden. These people even used to get in with another family. They would butcher like a cow and split it, between 2 families or 3 or 4 families. But that's neither here nor there. That's where my past is from. I've learned a lot from those people. I had something like 21 sets of parents. So I had a lot of different ideas on how a garden grew and what to do. Because like I said, almost every one of them, even when I was in the boys' home, the Dodge City Boys Ranch back in Kansas, we had a huge garden that we fed the boys' ranch out of, for the most part. So now I'm able to retire. I did 24 years in the military and managed to come into some money. So now I got a house that's paid off, and I'm able to not work anymore. So I figured, what the heck, why not try and grow a food forest? My daughter, Brenda, my oldest daughter, actually turned me on to the idea. She and I had been talking about a garden. I was planning on building this garden you see behind you. I'd already planned that before I heard about permaculture. And she's like, Daddy, check out this thing called permaculture. So I started reading up on permaculture. Now, I have not been to a permaculture class, and some of the ideals behind permaculture, I'll be honest with you, I find rather hippie-ish. I do not intend to live off the grid, nor can I here. It's actually illegal in Florida. You have to be connected to the grid, even if you have all solar power, which I don't have, but I may in the future. So the whole permaculture ideal is probably not for me, but I am going to try and take on parts of it. So why grow a garden? I grow a garden because I've got the time to do it. I enjoy doing it, and it's great to get food out of your backyard. Why should you grow a garden? That's up to you. If you're into saving the planet and trying to lower your footprint on Earth, every vegetable you get out of your garden is a vegetable that didn't have to come in on a truck or a plane or a train or a boat. And so it saves energy. Every trip you don't have to make to the grocery store is one less tank of gas. So, I mean, there's a lot of good reasons for it. The other thing is, one of the things I am trying to do here is I'm not using chemicals of any sort. If you look at my grass, you can kind of see there's weeds all throughout it. That's because I'm not getting weed killer. I'm not getting chemical fertilizer. I'm not trying to deal with what I have that way. I'm trying to do it the natural way, wherever possible. Now, I mean, you know, I do have to use some bug killer from time to time to keep the bugs out of the house, it being Florida, but I just use it right around the house and not out in the garden. One of the things, I don't know if a lot of people don't know, is that the bees are going away. And the biggest reason that the bees are going away is that people are using chemical bug killers in the yards, and the bees eat it and die. In my opinion, I'm not a scientist, so I can't tell you that for sure, but I do believe that that's got at least a part to do with it. So, why should you grow a garden? I would say do it because you want to, because you want some fresh food, and because you know where it came from. And it also helps out the planet. Why should you listen to me? You shouldn't. But what I'm doing is I'm trying to document as I go along the experiment of making a food forest in my backyard. I've got trees planted, I have vegetables planted, I have various different perennial plants planted, and my goal is, like David the Good says, create a food forest in my Florida yard. So that's what I'm all about. That's my experience in the matter, and I'm also hoping that I'll get some information from y'all, from people who listen in and watch my videos, and hopefully you'll give me some input. Say, hey, look, man, try this. This worked good for me. I've got a bunch of other resources I go to. Like one of the great examples is a place called Eat Your Yard Jack's. They have a place here on the west side of Jacksonville that they sell a lot of perennial plants, sell a lot of different plants, organically grown plants apparently. They also have a booth, I believe, at the farmers market at Yarbough Park in Neptune Beach every Saturday. Highly recommend you stop by and check them out. I get most of my plants from them. They're really good people. I like talking to them. Tim is a great guy. I've also gotten information from other websites, which you'll see linked in the various videos and such. But basically, I'm experimenting as I go along and trying to do something different, something new. It gets you outside, it gets you into the yard, keeps you from sitting on the couch. Honestly believe if I didn't do something, I'd sit on the couch and watch TV until I died. So rather than do that, I'm out digging holes in my backyard and trying to do something different with my life. That's pretty much it. That's why I do it. That's the goal behind it. I kind of want to document more than anything else where we started from, and I'm hoping that in a few short years here, maybe 2-3 years from now, you won't recognize this yard. You'll be like, holy heck, look at what the difference is. We'll see. We'll see how it all works out. All my trees are small, and my garden is just beginning, but I'm inviting you along for the ride. So come join me. See what's happening, see what I do, tell me what you think, and grow something in your yard. Try it out. It really doesn't cost anything but a little bit of sweat, a few seeds, and some time. All right, grow something in your yard and come back and see me. Thanks for stopping by Jim Bob's Garden. Like, subscribe, tell me what you think. Thank you very much.